Everybody, hope you're having a wonderful holiday season. I know it's getting close to the end of the year, 2025 just around the bend. I kind of wanted to put together this little video for a multitude of reasons. One is a huge thank you to everybody who has helped support us and get us through this really hard time for this next 2 weeks or so. But oh my gosh, I'm going to be doing a secondary video, hopefully with my partner, Ciara, as well. As a better kind of thank you, but I figured this would be kind of a good time. Just kind of give you a bit of a tour of the shop. I know we kind of did this like a long time ago. I think 12 years ago, maybe 10 years ago. I don't know. It's been a long time. Just kind of showing like what all goes on in the shop. At this time, all the employees have already gone home for the day. I just finished up doing some of my claw orders and getting them trimmed up, but almost on the newest list that just came in. I'm going to do a little flippy here so you can kind of see the shop space. This is our shipping area, so we kind of have all of our orders up on the bars here going from oldest to newest. So our oldest orders are here, and it kind of goes along the line to the newer orders. This has kind of worked out for us for the last couple of years. That's leftover stuff from the van, don't worry about that. This is the box hoard, which we will hopefully be going through here in the next week or two, just kind of recycling where we can with Amazon boxes and any other supplies that we get in. But this is mostly Ciara's workspace, where she does all the packing for orders over here with the bubble mailers, all the labels and stuff like that, and of course our little office. And back here is kind of like our clean rooms, where we do our silicone casting and clear casting. My newest batch of eyeballs that I just did today. But I gotta replace the plastic, it's a bit dirty. But also the silicone casting, where everything is cast in molds. These are actually heat plates, which we use to help the material cure faster. So if we're doing like multiple layers of silicone, that really helps out speeding the process. It's actually heat wire used for reptile tanks, and it works so good for silicone. Just to give you guys an idea, that everything that we make here in the shop is hand sculpted out of clay. So just to show you, like, there's our Sergal, there's our owl, there's our Toonie skull feline, there's the deer, there's a deer lower jaw that I've been working on for months. It's still not done yet. Eventually, new mannequin. This is the only 3D printed item that we have, so we can do different sizes. So this is going to be a 23 inch. Hopefully we can get him finished after the move. I'm going to say after the move because that's just, in retrospective, more likely to happen. 2 ovens, which we use for heating up our molds. So these are only used for casting items. This is not used for food. So we just use these. In fact, you see this oven's turned on right now. We keep it at the lowest setting for just warming up the molds, and that helps the resin kind of like super liquefy, releases bubbles, helps it kind of kick and cure faster, especially again for doing multiple layers. I do up to 5 layers for clear casting. It's crazy. But also, when you're doing rubber items, they do best when they actually cure in the oven for 5 hours after they've gone through a 16-hour curing process. It's another reason why rubber products tend to cost more than the silicone, because they're way more intense in how long it takes to get the finished product because of the curing process. But once it's done, the stuff is like shoe grade rubber. Like, it will last forever. It's super industrial, so great for feet paws. Like, this is like towards the finishing process of the clear castings that we do. I tend to pull them out of their molds, and I set them up in this tray where I go through and trim everything up, and I go and examine every claw before I pack it up in the bag. All of our employees that work in this space, all of our mold making is done over in this section by our employee Erin. Our employee Maria works here, and she does all of the resin head casting and some of our regular opaque claws from her desk. This is Erin's second desk. He's our longest employee, so he's been doing the skulls and some of the more complicated colors. Our employee Ian works here, and he does some of the multicolors, the jaw sets, and horns, as well as majority of the flex foam ears and the rigid foam mannequins. The mannequins have their own individual space over here because they take up a lot of room, as you can tell. This is the new area that we started up only a few months ago. This is our fursuit crafting area. So I've got our extra foams and furs. These are all for customer orders. This is all of our kind of extra fur, either not the right color or I got the wrong thing. So I'll be posting those up for sale sometime soon. But it's my little like craft station. This is what we have to downsize. So this entire wall is all of our molds. We have, again, everything is always stored in Tupperware containers, helps keep them clean, dust free. Fibers over here, we want to keep that from getting in there. But I have to go through and figure out what species we're going to downgrade because we have multiple racks. This is all for resin casting. Only used for resin casting, does not touch any other materials for those heads. And over here, we have all of our flex foam products. So we have all of our hoofs, and we have our toes, and we have our ears, and they're all just kind of, you can see our mannequin ears up there. Everything is labeled. And then over here we have all of our flex foam heads. Now the reason we do this is because the flex foam and the resin can cause cure inhibition from each other. So the materials curing in the molds, even though they're both silicone, can cause stickiness. So we tend to keep the molds separate. So we have all of our regular heads down here in for flex foam that are our realistic series, and then we have all of our toony stuff up here and up there on top. These are in progress to be cut and hinged for the next con. So this one here got the hinges on there, but they're still not yet sanded, so our edges are still rough and sharp. And these ones haven't got the hinges on, they're uncut. That's kind of the progress. Here, again, more models. We have models of all of our products from originally made from clay, and we cast them in plastic. So that way we make sure that we've got like a solid model that we can make molds off of until we decide to revamp them, and then we sell them off. Just raw materials. We've got spray paints and primers for cleaning up, doing our castings, as well as for prototyping. Again, more raw materials. I have to do a order tomorrow for Smooth On. As you can tell, our shelves are empty. Normally these are full of Smoothcast Series 300, 320, and Onyx. As you can see, they're empty. And all of our Flex Foam series is down here. And this helps thicken up the resin to make the layers thicker, and also helps keep the weight down. So that's why our resin heads don't weigh so much, because we use this, but also it keeps them nice and strong. Supply shelf for gloves and cups. All of our dyes that we use for all of our colors, all of our special effects. So we have like all of our glow powders in here. We have all of our special shapes, all categorized. Some of these are bulk, so kind of taking over the space, but try to keep everything nice and well organized. All of our glitters, all of our mica powders, and then we have down here our granites from Smooth On. And these are all of our stock from orders either we made extras of, had extra material for, or stocking up for cons. Right here we've got a bunch of our horns, or sometimes we just cast the wrong thing. We have a product called a red sheep horn, and our employee got that mixed up with red and red sheep and made a set of large sheep and red. It happens, we're human. Accidents happen all the time. All of these are pre-mades. These are all up on the web store. So anything we have here is up on the web store for purchase. It's ready to go right away. These are all of our tongues. Again, if we have extra material, we try to cast where we can so we're not wasting. Lots of little point dragon tongues. But we do our best to make use of things. Like, often I'll pull a circle jaw set if I have extra material, just because it's a really easy 2-color jaw set to cast. So we have a ton of Eastern circle jaw sets. But we tend to try to bring these to cons if we can. Smaller cons, obviously, we can't bring everything. And our crazy head display, I still have yet to figure out a good way to put this somewhere. And again, more product. All these are noses in plastic. So all these are our plastic product and some of our claws. They're all, whenever I said we're liquidating things, we're liquidating large equipment. So we're going to a smaller space and hopefully it has proper insulation. We're not going to need this equipment anymore. So we have like our portable AC unit up online for sale. This thing blows freezing cold air. It's an actual air conditioner. We got a subcooler, which blows kind of cold air. A giant box fan for pushing air through when we're trying to circulate out the hot air from the shop. but hopefully we won't need these anymore, so we have those all for sale to try to liquidate. This side of the shop is where we actually have our con stock being stashed up. I might put these up for sale. I started working on caribou antlers years ago and just never got around to finishing them, but I don't know yet. And then a couple of these are for like bulk materials. We got like a bunch of ears. We'll be bringing these to Anthro Expo. All these boxes are empty except for these two, which have flex foam in them. So we got all of our realistic flex foam heads in this box. We got our toonie heads in that box. And I have all of these heads laying out, and so I can do inventory on them and see what we need to make for Anthro Expo, which we're doing pretty good. It's a little con, so we got the 3 of each of the skulls. But there's a couple of more normal species I gotta work on getting made here. Thank you all again so much from the bottom of my heart, helping us stay in business with these orders. I cannot describe it. I'm so bad with words, and I apologize if it sounds shallow. I'm really not trying to be. I'm not a person that asks for help very often, so being able to continue to help the community, I had forgotten how much of an impact that we have been for the last like 12 years with the community. I mean, I've been making costumes since 2003, and I've been in the furry fandom since 2008, and I just didn't realize what the impact was. I thought if we just closed and it would just be, that would be it. Thank you all for reminding me about that, reminding me, you know, what we all do and why we do this and why we keep on creating. We keep creating to help the community. We help everybody grow. So thank you all so much. I'll try not to start crying. I apologize. I'm a mushy bean. But yes, thank you. If anybody has any questions at any point about what's going on with the company, we are staying open. If we ever do close down orders, we will make sure that every single order that comes through is completed and sent out, no matter what happens. Like, that is our goal. We never want anybody to be left high and dry. So you always can email us. You can send messages through TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, or any of the services. We now have Blue Sky, and we're trying to get more moved over to there because Blue Sky is better than the other place. But yeah, we're gonna work on making some changes, downgrading, and we're gonna post things as we can and figure out what we're keeping and what we're letting go, and hopefully we can work towards advancing some of our products and sending you guys out, you know, better things. So thank you all again. I know it sounds like a broken record, but thanks.